Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Dragon's Lair. My name is Brent. Today we're going to go through a huge Star Wars, and it's mostly Star Wars with the Sega Saturn and stuff like that, and a couple movies. Big lot I got off a friend of mine who was having a yard sale. He was hurting for some money. So I got there, he had 3 totes of Star Wars stuff. It was vintage and 90s stuff. And I said, well, tell me what you want for it. And he said $150 for it all. So I said, okay, no problem. Of course, after I kind of leafed through this a little bit with my son and nephew, and I think there's way more value here because there's a lot of vintage figures and stuff in here with the weapons. So I'm probably going to slide him some more cash than what I paid for, these figures. But we're just going to go through and see what all we got in here and show it off. So sorry for the mess in here. I'm out in my kitchen because I have no room right now. But of course we have the Bantha and Tuscan Raider, if you can see it. Box is a little bit beat up. This is from the 90s, I believe. Might open this one up. I don't know. It is very cool looking though. Very, very neat. Of course we have Jabba. Get back a little bit. This is the 90s one. It did follow, the box came open, so I believe it is complete, but some of it's down in the bottom of the tote here. If you can't tell, I've got like 2 totes here. So we're just going to go through this the best we can. We'll get to this a little bit later. We have the Millennial Falcon, which I believe is from the 90s. Very, very cool. We have Jabba the Hutt Dancers. I didn't even know they made those figures in the 90s, but I guess they were making everything. Anything to make a buck. Rebel Pilots. Of course, we do have Wedge Antilles, who was, I believe, in all 3 of the original, 4, 5, and 6. He was like Luke's wingman, his main man. So that is very, very cool. We have a vintage Rancor, which I've never owned one of these. I wasn't allowed to watch Star Wars as a little kid, but I got into it when I was a teenager. My mom thought it was evil. Of course, we have Luke's X-Wing. Not sure if this is vintage or not. It looks like it's vintage. See if I can see a date on there. I'm thinking it's vintage. It might not be, but it definitely looks vintage. So that is very cool. Of course, I'll save these Sega Saturn games for... I'll show them off at the end. We have the Final Jedi Duel. This box is beat up. I might open this, I don't know. Of course, we have a blaster right there on top. I don't know who that blaster goes to, but we're just going to throw that in the bottom. Beat up, but... in the 90s, they made a lot of these toys just to capitalize on some money. You know how they work. Money, money, money. We have Captain Tarpals, or however you say his name. Got much room here. We have the Cantina Aliens. Labria, Nebron Leeds, and Tequil. I never knew most of these guys' names. Very, very cool. We have a Tatooine accessory kit. Figures in a little bit here. We have Rune Hako. Very cool. Oh, don't fall on me. We have Queen Amidala. We have Darth Maul, which I am a big fan of Darth Maul. I always like Darth Maul. Of course, this goes with the Jabba that I just showed off. That's the belly button alien. It's actually, I'm not going to open it, but it's actually a cool poster of all the figures. We have I believe this is a vintage Tauntaun. Very, very cool. I can't remember what this guy was called, but this was from The Empire Strikes Back. Captured Luke, and I believe this is vintage too. Very, very neat looking. Definitely needs cleaned up. A lot of these need cleaned up. Then we have Jack Porkins. He's a big guy. Maybe that's why they call him Porkins. Let's see them for the end. I did get some movies and some Genesis games and a Sega Saturn too, so we have this ship right here, which I can't remember whose it is. Very, very neat. And I will set this here. Definitely looking. We got Boba Fett's ship. I'm guessing this is probably 90s by the looks of it. We have whatever this creature is, but he's pretty cool. I don't remember which movie he's from. Very, very neat looking creature. Hard to do this one-handed, but we're gonna do it. Then we have Newt Gunray. We have a Han Solo. I think this went with a Jabba. That fell out of the Jabba box. We have another accessory kit. We have Naboo Royal Security. Of course, we got a Han Solo. We got a Luke Skywalker. Very cool. We have Fode and Bede. I never knew their names. They were the announcers for the pod race, I believe. We have a Queen Amidala, full royal garb. We have an Anakin Skywalker. Then we have Naboo Royal Security. We have this bag of figures, which a lot of these look vintage. I might open them up at the end and go through them a little bit. These controllers out here. Bear with me on this, guys. I'm doing this one-handed. This goes to that one ship, I believe. I can't remember the guy's name, but we got tons and tons of figures. I mean, there are tons of figures. I'll try to get to some of these figures here in a minute. I'm not sure what that goes to. Looks pretty neat, though. Of course, we have a Darth Vader. We have an Anakin Skywalker. A little bit older in that picture. We have a TC-14 protocol droid. And then we have, I'll kind of show these ones off here. We got the speeder. We got, looks like it looks more like a 90s Tauntaun, but I'm not sure. We've just got stormtroopers. We got some weapons and gear and stuff like that. We got whoever that dude is. Of course, we got the lovely singer right here. Sexy lips like that, you can't go wrong, I guess. Whoever that guy is. That's one of the bounty hunters, or maybe he was one of the guys from A New Hope in the cantina scene there. We got a stormtrooper, looks like he was blown up. Got a very cool looking droid with a gun kind of hanging onto it. And I hope my daughter's not going to come in the house right now, but she probably is playing music. Whoever, that's one of the guys from the cantina, I think. Han Solo stuff. That bike, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's broken. We got an R2. Some more missile weapons, and we got a Collector's Universe book. I've never seen that before. And we also have a box of vintage Star Wars cards. These weren't really taken care of very good. Definitely something I'm going to have to go through. So very, very cool. Let me get some of this out of the way. And then we'll go through the other tote, and then we'll do the figures last. Let me know if you guys think I underpaid for this, because, you know, I just took what he offered it for. I haven't even got to the vintage figures yet, but they all have their weapons and everything. So it's kind of insane. At this point, I don't even know where I'm going to put it all. Of but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Oh, let's get down to this next tote. I ended up, there was 3 totes, but I had to combine it into 2 because I couldn't get it all in the vehicle. So we have Captain Panaka. Let me put back here. We have Max Rebo band pairs, Barkin Dion and Droopy McCool. Very cool. We have, this is another X-Wing, a lot bigger than the originals. It's actually got a handle on it where you can hold it. I'm guessing the batteries don't work or whatever. These go to TIE Fighter. There's a couple TIE Fighters in here. We have an AT-AT. This is 90s, I do believe. Very, very cool. Of course, here's more pieces to TIE Fighters. Got this cool looking beast. Very, very cool. Like I said, another piece of a TIE Fighter, or some type of TIE Fighter. So we got these TIE Fighter pieces. And now we're getting down into more vintage stuff. So this is one of the vintage ships. I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if all the pieces are here or not, but you also have this one. I've seen this one before in like flea markets and stuff, but very, very cool looking ship. Very, very neat. Then we got this ship, which I don't know if that's 90s or looks more 90s, but I'm not sure. Cool nonetheless. We've got this little, this is a handheld like Tiger game or something like that. Flips up. Kind of can't do it one hand. We got, this looks vintage. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not sure what it goes to. Whatever this thing is, I don't recognize it. We got some speeders, which these look vintage, 100% look vintage. Very, very cool. Some Ewok stuff, it looks like. Bits and pieces everywhere. I'm not sure what all these go to. We do have a Max Rebo in here. He looks vintage. Probably is. We got, looks like a TIE Fighter pilot. We have this bad boy. Definitely looks vintage. Definitely dirty too. I know this right here is vintage, this snow speeder. I do have a copy of this. Probably not in this good a condition, but this is filthy, but very, very cool. And I know this is vintage too. This is from A New Hope. Very, very cool. I think that's Max Rebo's piano thing. Bunch of accessories down here. Another part of a speeder. Whatever that thing is. And of course we have another one of Luke's X-Wing fighters. And we got this dude, whatever his name was. I'm pretty sure he's vintage. I don't know where the date is on him. But that's all the vehicles that were in there. And we're going to get into the figures here in a minute. Don't mind the mess here. I'm in my kitchen and it's like, it's crazy because my daughter moved back in and all her stuff's everywhere. But we're going to get into these figures now. If I can do this one-handed. So I believe most of these ones here are all vintage. You know, we got a Boba Fett with his blaster. I mean, all these guys have all their weapons, which is very, very neat. I don't even know all their names. I am a Star Wars nerd, but I don't know everybody's names. But I think I underpaid him. You know, I just, whatever he offered. Do it better if I do it this way, I guess. Stormtroopers. Some of these guys I didn't even know they made figures for, but like I said, you can see all their weapons are in the bags. I mean, it's just insane. They definitely tried to capitalize on all this stuff. I mean, I've never even seen that guy. He does not look familiar at all. His weapon's in there. This was his toy hood collection. He knows I'm not going to sell it either, so... very, very cool. Some of these figures are just insane. Like, I didn't even know they made some of these figures. I don't know if these are all vintage. They kind of do look like it, but I know a good chunk of them. I think he said he had almost every single vintage figure except for maybe one or two. So some of these might be 90s, but the bulk of these right here that I'm showing in this are, I believe, 70s, 80s. Some very, very cool figures, I will say that. Very neat. I'm sorry if you guys are getting a glare or something, you're not seeing it very good. I'm just kind of recording this as I go. That looks more modern right there, but I don't know. Got the Rancor trainer. We got the guard. I actually got one of these at a yard sale for $1 not too long ago. I believe this must be a Jawa. Looks like a Jawa, and we got a little trash can robot. So that was pretty cool for that first thing of figures. Of course, they were in a Star Wars lunchbox, which is pretty cool. I don't know. It's kind of beat up. I don't know. I'm trying to hold this one-handed. A little bit beat up. And these right here were some more of the figures that were just kind of in there in the tote. We got, oops. We got an Obi-Wan, and we got a robot. Sorry if I'm not getting a good camera angle on these guys. I'm just kind of filming this quick because I gotta actually take care of all this stuff. This one's a Walt Disney one, which my wife is a big Mickey fan, so this was kind of cool. Like I said, so here's the Ewoks, all his armor. We got a Chewie and a C-3PO. You know, weapons in there with all these guys. We got R2. He looks a little rough, but Chewie with his weapon. We got, I believe that's Lando with his pistol in the back. More Ewoks. I mean, this is just like an insane haul, guys. I feel in my heart I underpaid him. But you guys just let me know, should I slap him some more money? Because I told him I'm probably going to slap him some more money. Of course, we got Leia, kind of the Jedi garb. We got Wicket with his spear. Very, very cool. Oop. Whoever that was, I don't remember who that is. We got a droid. A couple of these might be modern, I don't know. Very cool. Very cool nonetheless. That looks like Uncle Owen. Did they make an Uncle Owen figure back in the day? Maybe they did, I don't know. Han. We have... I'm not sure who that is. We got another Ewok. I'm pretty sure he said he had all the vintage figures but one or two in here, so I'm guessing most of these are probably vintage. That looks like a Leia right there. Her helmet's down over her head. This dude looks old. I mean, just the fact that it has the weapons, I think just makes it worth so much more. But you guys let me know what you think. Did I underpay for this? I think I did. I think I'm going to have to slap him some more money. Just for the figures alone. And some of these I've never seen before. I mean, it's just crazy. Leia with her pistol. You can definitely tell that's vintage. There's a Yoda. Very cool. I didn't even know Yoda was in there. I know he said he had most of the figures. He was only missing a couple. I don't know what Luke's holding there. Something. It's a trap. You know it. But very, very cool. Like I said, most of these are probably vintage figures that have been shown right here. There might be a few modern in there. But let's see if I can get this bag open here. If I can, I'll show them off. Peep. Yeah, I'm not sure what these figures are. I haven't looked at this bag. So this is just an oddball assortment bag here. They do look kind of vintage, but I'm not sure if they are or not. Looks like another Yoda in there. Chewie, Lando, Leia. These look vintage. Very, very cool. And whatever this thing is. Not sure what that is, but it looks kind of neat. Got a mouth on it. Pretty cool. And then we have this 90s case here, which is just loaded, and I mean loaded, with just figures. Boy, I don't want these falling on the floor. If these fall on the floor, my dogs will chew them up. I mean, it's just cool, cool stuff. And he said he was troop building the 90s stuff. All these weapons in there. And you guys get an idea what's in here. That's pretty cool how there's a couple of the Wookiees in here. But I think this whole case here was all 90s reprints. But it's got the weapons too, so that's pretty cool. And then underneath is just so many more figures. Like I said, he was troop building for the stormtroopers and stuff like that, so it's just insane. Insane, all these figures we got. I like Star Wars, and I don't mind the 90s Star Wars either. I think the toys are still cool looking, but they're just overproduced. It's the only problem, but they definitely tried to capitalize in the 90s and just make figures of everybody. Guess they kind of did it the first round too, back in the 70s, 80s, but anything to make money. Some of these droids are just so cool looking. Very, very neat. Very, very cool. And that was all the Star Wars figures. I also got the Sega Saturn, which, let me just set this right here. Yep, just throw it down. So there's the Sega Saturn that I got. Knocking stuff over. And I only paid $15 for the Sega Saturn with the games. And then I also got some movies, which I got Godzilla movies. Oh, come on. Of course, more Godzilla. You got some Tom and Jerry. You got more Godzilla. More Godzilla. Hey, I'll take Godzilla movies all day long. They're totally cheesy, but I love them. King Kong escapes. Godzilla versus the Sea Monsters. I don't even know who Hedorah is. And then we had 3 Genesis games. Mortal Kombat. Desert Strike, which I don't think I've ever played. Battletoads versus Double Dragon, which is super, super cool. I'm happy for that game. And then the last part of the deal, we had these came with a Sega Saturn. We got Wing Arms, never heard of it. We have Quarterback Club, I don't care about that. Sky Target, very cool. Oh, we did get one 360 game, Naval Assault. We have Virtual Racing. We had a NASCAR Sports, and we had an Iron Storm. So that is it for my just amazing Star Wars / Sega Saturn score. Let me know what you guys think. I do think I underpaid them, especially just the fact that all the vintage figures had all their original weapons. And I'm really thinking about slapping them some more money for this. For everything you just saw in this video, I only paid $175. So, you guys let me know what you think. Oops, dropping my phone here. But I'm very, very happy with it. So I thought it was a pretty cool score. Don't mind the mess on my table. Like I said, my daughter's moved back in the house and everything's a mess here. So But let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. It's all cool. It's all good. Thanks for watching, guys.